Good evening and welcome to the 2024 Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame induction. Tonight we will induct 13 individuals and one team into the Vidalia Athletic Hall of Fame, our third class, and we welcome you here tonight to be able to celebrate these great accomplishments. This is a night of celebration for some of the greatest athletes and also some of the greatest supporters that Vidalia High School has seen since its inception. You will see a number of inductees tonight, individually and as a team, that have contributed not only here at Vidalia High School, but also in their life as a professional and also as a citizen. So thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate your attendance. This is a great moment to be able to celebrate, relax, enjoy the moment, and know that it is a great day to be a Vidalia Indian. At this time, I am going to ask the man who had the vision to be able to help start this. He's the former principal of Vidalia High School, and he's also the CEO of our SECA, and he's also the chairman of our Hall of Fame committee. Will you please welcome to the stage Mr. John Sharp.
Thank you, John. What a special night. It is so good to see all of you, and it was wonderful to see members of the first and second class come back. And I just got a text from Rodney Garvin, our head football coach, who said, you know what, this is like a family reunion. And it is great to see everybody. Vidalia is a great place, and we do have a lot to celebrate. Today was the day that we had to pivot a little bit. It's a new term. I think it's a word for 2024. Dodge County's basketball team, who was coming in, had a flat tire, so we got the game started. So we had to pivot and run both teams together at halftime. We're a little late getting started, but we're here, and we're just delighted to be able to celebrate the great accomplishments of so many people. I do want to acknowledge one person, just somebody that is beloved by all of us, but let me tell you what a special ceremony this is. In the first year, we had a great ceremony, but we realized there was something that was missing. There was somebody who was mentioned by just about every first inductee. And that was Ed Smith, who never coached at Vidalia High School, but had such a tremendous influence. So we quickly established the Legacy Award and knew that he would be our first inductee. And he was last year, and even though he was a little weak, he made it up, and he wasn't going to bust on people like he always does, but I was so glad that he did get me. He said, John, you know, you like Coach Crave, he said, the older you get, the better you were. If you live a little more longer, you may be all right. And tonight, he made a special effort to be here. Please join me in saluting Coach Ed Smith, who is in the back row. Thank you, Hugh, for bringing Coach Smith out. It is wonderful to see you. Steve, if you'll go to the next slide. There are so many people that we need to thank here. I want to just tell you all 5 of the banks contributed to this cause. So if you go into any of the banks in Vidalia, please tell them thank you for supporting the Hall of Fame. The Vidalia Advance has been great at helping us try to dig up some history, and one of the stories you'll hear tonight, Jack Sasser came in and found out. It was wonderful. The Spivey Library is great at letting us use their resources to dig all of those up. We've got articles back from the 1920s and 1930s. TQ Construction was wonderful to help sponsor our meal. Pop Photographs is here. Carol Williams and Jan Williams are down front. They will be taking you, so when you receive your award, come to the middle. They're going to take your picture, and afterwards we'll get a group shot of the entire class. And if anybody else wants to get a shot with your family or anybody else, he will take them. You give your email address to his wife, Miss Jan, and he'll send you, if you've got a Google Drive, he'll send that to you, and we are grateful for he and Carol, or Jan and Carol, and what they do for us. Herf Jones helps us with awards, and I think that's about everybody, but these folks, if you just see these folks around town, tell them how much you appreciate them supporting the Hall of Fame. Also, we've got a committee that is wonderful. And I'm just going to tell you these folks. Vidalia Tribe Network is doing this, and you can tell your people all over around the country, anywhere around the world, that this is being streamed live on VHS Tribe Report web page, and it also will be, you can go to YouTube and video, or search VHS Athletic Hall of Fame, and it'll pull up the live stream. And then the past classes will be there for you to view, and you can even view tonight's ceremony. So they do a good job. Corbin Howard heads up that. BHS FCCLA, along with Ms. Sager and also Ms. Mosley, did a wonderful job at providing the refreshments up here and in the gym. Anna Helms does a slideshow. Now she's moved out in the office next to me this year, and I don't know that she likes that because I was always coming over and saying, hey, I need you to fix this picture. I need you to do this. But she did a wonderful job doing that. Stephen Arnold is our sound guy in the back. Is a great asset to our school. Miss Lawrence Johnson provided the food. We have the golden voice of John Coon. And I will tell you this, well, the first year John had surgery, and I said, at least let us use your voice. Record that. It was so well done. He said, let's do this from now on. So he goes and takes times to record the voice, his voice. He's just got the golden voice. Gray and Susanna Meredith helped put up the display above the gym. And if you've not gone out and looked at that, please see the names there. It is a great class just display there. And then Miss Wyndham and Miss Whitaker did all the decorations in the lunchroom. And I've also got to give a shout out to Mr. Mulkey, Coach Freenor, Miss Sharpton, the administrators at Vidalia High School who helped pull all of this together. So thank you very much. And if you will, join me in giving them a round of applause for all that they did. The next slide, there are some people that make this happen, and these are unpaid volunteers, and this is your committee who we started 3 years ago, and we said, okay, we wanted to get people that represent a cross-section of decades, that have a lot of knowledge of Vidalia High School and even athletics, and these 10 people came together, and we will meet 6 or 7 times a year and plan this event, select the recipients, and it gets harder and harder every year because we're adding more people. But these people do a wonderful job, strictly volunteers, and if you will, join me in saluting them and thanking our Hall of Fame committee. They are a blessing to me, and they help provide this. Now, I will tell you one of the things, too. We always want to get better. Every year we have a meeting in January, and our goal is what can we do better? And if you have any suggestions for us, just like this year, one of the things some of the alumni told us, hey, the meal was great, but the only problem is we sit at one table and we only get to visit with them. We want to visit with everybody. We said, hey, we can make that happen. Told Miss Johnson, hey, they love your food, just make it heavy hors d'oeuvres and we'll do that. So that was one of the changes that we did this year. We also went to, actually, from the first year when we didn't recognize a state championship team on stage, we did last year with the state championships teams. So we were always looking to find ways to make improvements. So just let us know. We don't mind listening because we want to make this a great event. Now, we'll tell you one of the reasons we got started with this is we wanted to celebrate past accomplishments of Vidalia High School athletics. We have such a rich tradition. There's so many wonderful people, and it's not just their athletics. Athletics got their start, but these people use what they learn in athletics to go on and make a difference in their communities and their schools, and we want to use them as an example for our current athletes. And by doing so, we hope we can set the bar real high, and they will strive for success like those that have gone before them. And we just want to encourage you to continue to invest in Vidalia High School, the athletic programs and the student athletes. And I do want to tell you too, we celebrate too the fine arts. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Margaret Purnell, who in the last year and this year won the first state literary championship, and then this past month won the state one-act championship, first one since 1975. And you get a chance, if you did not see the performance Bad Acts, you can come out here tomorrow night at 6:30 and get to see an encore performance of the state championship one-act play. And I encourage you to come out and see it. They do a wonderful job. At this time, Coach Daly was supposed to be here, but I'm sure he's hopefully winning a basketball game right now. But one of the things I want to tell you is just tell you what a great job he has done. I saw several of you got to go in the lunchroom, and we have a Vidalia High School a Hall of Fame website, and it's more than just a Hall of Fame. It is just the history of all of Vidalia High School athletics. We're adding to it. And one of the things you may not know, but every yearbook all the way back to 1950 is digitized on that website, and you can scroll through that from a touch page. So you can go in. There were a lot of students or a lot of people that have enjoyed doing that. We have a dedicated smart board that is doing that, and we've enjoyed seeing our students come through the halls and go back and look up the records. And even tonight's ceremony will be stored and displayed there. So you will get to see all of the inductees will have their name, all of their information, and their speeches as well. So again, that's what Coach Daly was going to say, would say. Sit back and enjoy the ceremony, and we'll get started. Thank you for being here.
Tonight's first induction is the 1986 State Championship Girls Softball Team. The 1986 Vidalia High School softball team began the season with high expectations. Under the leadership of Coach Chunk Reed and with a strong senior class, the team was optimistic for a successful season. The girls started fast and ran the record to 16-2 with a region title, the second region title in the history of Vidalia softball. They dominated teams, averaging 10 runs and giving up only 3. In the first round of the state, they easily defeated Brooks County 7-3 and 19-9 to advance to the state Final Four in Marietta. In the first game, they faced the defending state runner-up from Jackson. Being nervous in the girls' first state Final Four appearance, the team lost to Jackson 11-0. The team then regrouped and defeated Sylvan Hills 14-1 and North Gwinnett 5-2 to earn a rematch with Jackson in the finals. They won Game 1 to force the if-necessary game 6-4 and then won Game 2 12-6 to earn the school's first female team state championship in school history. Today, we are honored to welcome the 1986 State Championship softball team into the Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Please help me welcome to the stage Gail Hall, Trina Massey, Veronica Nails, Melissa Newman, Jennifer Poole, Jill Poole, Judy Poole, Laura Bedingfield, Gina Brock, Lisa Hall, Terry Hilton, Kathy Nails, Sonia Poolnott, Amber Reed, and Jennifer Roundtree. We also recognize their coaches, Coach Massey and Coach Chunk Reed. Please join me in welcoming the 1986 Lady Indian softball team to the Vidalia Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good evening. Let me get right up here for a second. So it is an honor. We've had such a good time tonight. It's been 38 years since we won this state championship.
We're only 38.
Yeah, sure. She's, but it has been a really fun night. I want to thank Coach Sharp, Hall of Fame committee, everybody that puts this on. And John Coon kind of mentioned it. Well, that's my next thought. But if you've ever been a state champion player or coach, you know it's like something you carry with you for the rest of your life. So I still talk about it, and I'm sure they do too. And everybody's like, what? So how many years ago? So, but yeah, we went into Al Bishop Complex in Marietta, Georgia, and we were kind of cocky, if I remember correctly, kind of arrogant. And Jackson beat the brakes off of us. I mean, 11-1, 11-0, and I can remember this is going to be a long ride home. And I don't know what Coach Reed and Coach Massey said to us in between I feel sure it was probably nicer than whatever Jill said to us in between. That's the one you had to fear the most. But we regrouped and came back and played 4 games back to back to back. And around midnight that night, Jackson had a different view on Vidalia High School softball team. And I know as hard as it is to believe this day and age, the small school in South Georgia left Atlanta, Georgia with a state championship. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, I just want to say real quick, we couldn't have done without all our parents. We traveled everywhere we went. We had a caravan of mamas and daddies back then, and so I hope they all know how much we appreciate all that. Also, Coach Massey, Trina's dad, who helped Daddy, and he did it for free. I don't know why he wanted to torture himself that way, but he did, and he did it for free. So we appreciate Coach Massey. And last but not least, Coach Chunk Reed. Anybody who's ever been shut up in a van, VRD van with Chunk, you can imagine what that was like. And you can say what you want to. He smoked cigarettes on that van with us on it. So I think the statute of limitations has run out on that, but he did. But I will say something about my dad is I can remember nobody wanted to take on girls softball at Vidalia High School. And he stepped up and he took it, and he, in true Chunk Reed fashion, he took that program that nobody wanted and he turned us into state champions. So, so right now, I wish he was here. He would love this. We sure do miss him. But our saying back then was, Chunk's girls are back. So here we are. Chunk's girls are back 38 years later. Thank y'all.
Let me tell y'all how cocky we were. I don't tell you how cocky we were. All of us were. I was the leader, but I don't tell you. We got shirts made that said at the beginning of the ball season, Chunk's girls are back. We had 8 seniors, 5 juniors, and we had 2 sophomores. And everybody, when you have a state championship team, you always hear the story, well, the talent that was there, y'all were special, all of that. And we all played together coming through rec ball, and we were destined to win. But I'm going to tell you not the rest of the story, I'm going to tell you the real story. So we go and we get rained out. So we come back, and then we're having to go back. Well, in between that small period of a week of a time, our second baseman, Terry Hilton, she gets in a car wreck. Now, you all know you just can't put one person to fill that spot. Now you're moving people around. Coach Chunk Reed gets the credit. We did it. We went out there and we again, you hear it, special. We had talent to win. But he has to pull our first baseman, Jennifer, to go to second. So now we're bringing in an outfielder. If I remember correctly, it's my story. So Kathy's now going to first. Kathy's now coming to first to play. And so now we're having to put someone in the outfield. And we did. They run ruled us the first game, the previous state champions. And we could have folded, but we didn't. Coach Reed, I'm telling you guys, we were so blessed. And torture, Coach Reed had triplets. He had his daughter, and he had the Nail sisters. And we still won. But Chunk's girls are back.
Well, I want to say one thing. with Coach Reed. Now, my mother died that year, 86, Virginia Nails, AKA Miss Moon. So she died that Saturday. I can hear me. Listen, hush. So she died that Saturday. All I remember when I woke up, in shock, Coach Reed and Coach Goodman were standing in my grandmother's living room. Y'all work with me. So like I said, she died that Saturday. So we went to school that following Monday. We didn't miss a beat. Everybody at Vidalia High School, they surrounded us with love. I mean, she told us to go on. So we went to state. Like I said, we lost that first game, got the brakes beat off of us. But we were too scared to lose because we knew if we did, we probably would have to run behind the band. Let them tell it. I'm gonna tell the truth. We probably had to walk back or run behind the band coming back to Vidalia. But like I said, Coach Reed, you could not ask for he was the perfect gentleman. A father, a husband. He was a father to me, even though my father is still living. But I love him, and he's missed dearly.
The Vidalia Hall of Fame Committee proudly recognizes Jack Sasser as a 2024 inductee and recipient of the prestigious Vidalia High School Legacy Award. A man whose life was defined by unwavering dedication to his family, community, and alma mater, Jack Sasser's contributions to Vidalia and Vidalia High School athletics are both extraordinary and enduring. Jack was a 1943 graduate of Vidalia High School, where he played as an end on the 1942 district champion football team. His love for Vidalia High School athletics extended far beyond his playing years. From 1950 to 1975, Jack's iconic voice served as the PA announcer for Vidalia High School football games. In the 1950s, he also announced for the Vidalia Indians, a Class D minor league baseball team of the Cleveland Indians, calling games that featured future Hall of Famer Willie McCovey and local legends like Smokey Snyder and Jim Smith. Often referred to as the #1 Vidalia High School sports fan of all time, Jack's devotion knew no bounds. He attended every Vidalia High School football game for an incredible 60-year span from 1945 to 2005. In recognition of his steadfast support, he became the first recipient of the Vidalia High School Booster Club's Big Chief Award in 2006 and was honored with the inaugural Golden Seat at Buck Cravey Field. Jack's legacy extended beyond the stadium. As a dedicated community leader, he served 15 years on the Vidalia Recreation Department Board, helping to bring vital projects like the Vidalia City Swimming Pool on Bay Street to fruition. Professionally, Jack was a respected auctioneer and real estate broker, known for his integrity and strong ties to the Vidalia community. Family was central to Jack's life. Married to Old Dean Hutchison Sasser for 62 years, he was the proud father of 5 Vidalia High School graduates, Jack Jr., Jean, Tommy, Judy, and Cecilia, and grandfather to 16. His family lineage boasts a remarkable 10 quarterbacks, a testament to the athletic legacy he helped foster. To honor his memory, the Vidalia High School Spirit Award was renamed the Jack D. Sasser Award, presented annually by Vidalia High School to individuals who exemplify his passion and commitment to Vidalia High School athletics. Please join us in celebrating the life and the legacy of Jack Sasser, whose love for Vidalia High School and its athletes will inspire generations to come. Receiving the award posthumously is Jack Sasser, Jr.
First of all, the Sasser family, and we're here tonight. Between the Sassers and the Blunts, I think we take up about half the auditorium. But we would like to thank, as a family, the committee for this special legacy award. Chairman John Sharp, VHS Principal Bruce Mulkey, Athletic Director Tommy Daly, John Connor, Carol Hansley, Phyllis James, Wilson Johnson, Eddie Lee Singleton, and the Vidalia High School, the Vidalia Recreation Department Director, Scott Strickland. Daddy would have been most proud of this, of anything he could have been awarded, notably because of the first winner, and that was Coach Smith. Daddy had the utmost admiration for him, and he would have told you he deserves it before me. And Coach Smith, we thank you for being able to be here tonight. It's very special to all of us. I want to talk to you tonight about, I want to balance it out with seriousness and humor to tell you some stories that you might not have heard. And a lot of them start with F. First the family, then faith, football and mixing with faith, his broadcasting with football, and then football-related stories that we heard from Daddy through the years, and then the final farewell that we gave Daddy when he died. First, family. God knew that Daddy's love of VHS football because he had 5 children in 6 years, and not one of those was born during football season. January, April, and May. This enabled Daddy, as John said, not to miss a single football game in 60 years. 60 years. Having said that, there's a big hole in our heart here tonight that Judy and Mama and Daddy aren't with us, especially Judy, to complete it, because Judy was responsible for and Bill for 2 of the better athletes that ever came through, and one of those is getting inducted tonight, Bill Sharpton Jr. Also, faith. You may not know this, but Daddy's parents were the original founders of the Tabernacle Baptist Church. It started in their small living room on Peachtree Street, and that house is still there today. They built then the Tabernacle Baptist Church, which is now the Ron Hall Funeral Home. And when I think of that, I think of my grandmama. I think of my grandmama always seeing her sitting in a sofa in a duplex on Van Street with her Bible. And I would go in, I was 13, 14, 15, 16. Grandmama, what are you doing? I'm reading the Bible and I'm praying for every one of y'all by name, that all of you, my children and my grandchildren, come to know the Lord at an early age. And she would go through a list, and most of us did. Most of us became born-again Christians. Also, Daddy was a longtime deacon, chairman of the deacons at Tabernacle Baptist Church. And we were fortunate then growing up to have pastors like Charles Whitson at Tabernacle, Milton Gardner at First Baptist Church, and then Grady Wrong at First Baptist Church, Vidalia. And then we mixed football with faith. Daddy's senior year was during the war times, early 40s, and Vidalia was not going to have a football team that year. Things were being rationed, food, fuel, and the principal decided that, look, we don't have the resources and money's tight. We're not going to field a football team. And the players asked Daddy, who was a natural leader, would you go see the principal, Jack, and plead with him to let us have a football team. So Daddy went and talked to the principal, and he said, Jack, we don't have the money, we don't have the budget, and things are being rationed. It's very tough times. But if you can find somebody to coach the team, and we don't have to pay them, we'll accept them. So Daddy took the whole team from that First Street school where I grew up, it was called the elementary school then, and he marched them down Highway 280, down to Church Street, to the First Baptist Church, took a right, went down to the Presbyterian Pastorium, their house there is still there today, to meet a guy named Preacher Ewell Nelson. Daddy always referred to him as Preacher Nelson. He didn't call him Coach Nelson. And he explained what they needed and told him, we can't do it. And Daddy said, Jack, he was just as interested in leading the boys to the Lord as he was in leading us to victory. But he was a tremendous coach. And they won every game. They went undefeated with a great running back named Gene Foots Colson. And Foots Colson was named that because he played barefooted, signed with Georgia. And that team went on to win what we would consider today a state championship, although it was district championship then. They had to beat Statesboro, and they beat them to win it. And Daddy loved telling that story. And interesting enough, I heard this from James Thompson when I was verifying some of these stories. But James said, Jack, not only that, but the town wanted to reward. We were so excited that we wanted to reward Preacher Nelson for what he had done, but everything was rationed. And he said, we were able to go to a hardware store owner, and Preacher Nelson loved to hunt, and we were able to get 2 boxes of shotgun shells, which was impossible to get. And he said, your daddy and others went up and left them on his porch at his front door. And he said, you'd have thought we'd have given him a new Cadillac. He was that happy. Then I get into broadcasting and football. As John said, Daddy was the VHS football PA announcer for 20 plus years. And those years dated from when Bobby Dixon played in the 50s through James Brantley to the mid-1970s. And then in the broadcasting career, it also mixed with his auctioneering. Daddy would do the pecan auctions, the livestock auctions. He sold hogs and cows, and also he did the tobacco auctions. But one summer, WVOP hired him to do live broadcasts at the tobacco warehouse. So, and that was huge. You could smell the tobacco. And Daddy said it smelled green. It smelled like money. All the tobacco people would come to town, and they spent big money in Vidalia then in the summer. But anyway, so Daddy was doing a live interview and asking people, well, how did you do? Bill Worthen. Bill, how'd you do in your sale of tobacco? Different people like that. So he had a guy from down in the Altamaha River area, pretty rough. Daddy had known him. He had sold his hogs and cows. And he said he didn't know what come out of his mouth, but he knew he was very honest. And he asked him, he said, Mr. Chamberlain, that's not his name, I changed it. Mr. Chamberlain, how'd you do today at the tobacco auction? He said, Jack, I lost my ass. He said, you what? He said, I lost my ass. I didn't get what I should have for the tobacco. Daddy said, anybody that sees a donkey around town, call WVOP immediately. Mr. Chamberlain's lost his donkey, and we've got to find it. So he covered for himself. Then I get into football-related stories. John touched on it, and Mr. Watley first brought it up to Ray Tapley's attention, and Ray mentioned it to me. And he said, Jack, in your your dad's bloodline, he had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starting quarterbacks. I was the first. I quarterbacked for Coach Cravey when he took over for Coach Parsons. I was the first quarterback that year, and I was better in baseball than I was football. Let's leave it at that. I got backed up, though, by Tommy. He was my backup, and I was a senior. He was a sophomore. And then along came Bill Jr. as a quarterback, then Robbie Sharpton, and then Sean Sasser, Josh Sasser, and Josh and them played in the Dome. Wade Johnson, that's Cecilia's son, he was a quarterback at Jefferson. And then all three of my sisters married quarterbacks. So we were well represented with quarterbacks. And an interesting story is Coach Cravey, before he died, Coach Cravey had Parkinson's. I ran into him about 2 months before he died at Food Line, and he was shaking pretty badly. And I said, Coach, how you doing? He said, I'm doing okay, Jack. He said, I just wanted to tell you, I enjoyed coaching you and Tommy as much as any quarterbacks I ever had. I said, Coach, how could you possibly say something like that with the quarterbacks that you had here? And he said, well, to be honest with you, I knew if I put in the backup quarterback that his parents couldn't get mad at me. So, and he put in Tommy a lot behind me. So anyway, that was, then the other story, Herschel Walker came along then. That was 1979 football season. And we had told Daddy about Herschel. Tommy actually coached against him when Tommy helped down at Toombs Central and first told me about Herschel when he was a sophomore. So we told Daddy, we got to go see this guy, Herschel Walker, at Johnson County, playing for the state championship. He was playing against a team out of Atlanta named Feldwood. It's not even a school today. They combined with Bannister and they formed another school. But Herschel, they kicked it in the end zone, brought it out to the 20-yard line. Herschel immediately ran the first play of the game for an 80-yard touchdown. And that game, Herschel had 4 touchdowns that he scored. He had 318 yards rushing, and obviously they beat the tar out of Feldwood. And the interesting thing about that game was I stood in the end zone with Daddy and Robert Connor, Gene's husband, and while we were standing in the end zone, up walked Danny Ford from Clemson, and he stood right next to me on the left, chewing tobacco, and it was running down his mouth, Danny Ford. And then up walks Coach Dooley with Mike Cavan, who was recruiting Herschel, and they stood on my right, so I could hear everything they were saying. So Coach Ford was literally, I could bump him, and I said, Coach, what do you think of Herschel? He said, let me tell you, boy, if I sign that guy, we're going to win 4 national championships. And he said it loud enough that Dooley and Cavan could hear him, and Dooley kept a straight face, didn't even respond, didn't even look at Coach Ford. But Dooley and Cavan got him. And then so after the game, we got in the car and we were coming home, and we said, Daddy, what'd you think of Herschel? He said, he had a good game, he had 4 touchdowns. He's no James Brantley, I can tell you that. That's what And then another is a humiliating loss. I want to tell you this story, sort of funny. Humiliating loss to Lions, and I want to say somebody lost like 51-0. I mean, it was bad, which was rare. And Daddy, on the way home, if Vidalia lost, you didn't want to be around Daddy. He was in a terrible mood. So anyway, we're driving home from Lions. We get by the Bethany home, and Mama, who went to Lions High School and graduated from there, looked up and she said, I'm going to tell you, if we had played the Bethany home tonight, we couldn't have beat them. And Daddy got furious. He said, I know if you speak ever about Vidalia football, I'm going to let you out of the car right here, and you can spend a night at the Bethany home. That's what he told Mama. So we had a miserable ride the rest of the way, a miserable weekend. And then finally, I'll wrap up with the funeral and our final farewell to Daddy. Mama wanted and we put his favorite putter in his right hand. And it went viral on the internet, and we had many beautiful responses to people saying how appropriate it was for Daddy. So I want to thank everybody, because if there was ever a Mr. VHS, if there was ever a #1 fan of Vidalia, embodied it. And also, I just want to show here the grandchildren that are here, the great-grandchildren that are here, and we're here in mass from all over the state of Georgia to pay Daddy love and respect. Thank you very much.
This evening's next inductee is Shelton Slim Sutton. Shelton Sutton was a 1937 graduate of Vidalia High School, where he left an indelible mark as one of the school's early sports heroes. A standout on the gridiron, Sutton lettered for 3 years and was a 3-year starter, showcasing his exceptional talent. Commanding presence on the field. Sutton's athletic powers earned him a place on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets roster in 1939, where he contributed as a substitute offensive lineman during one of the program's most successful periods. The team secured a share of the SEC championship and triumphed over Missouri in the Orange Bowl. By the 1941 season, Sutton had advanced to the starting center position. The end of that season, however, brought a turning point not just in football, but in history. On December the 7th, 1941, Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor shifted the course of Shelton Sutton's life. A member of the Navy JROTC, he answered the call to service shortly after the United States entered into World War II. Sutton was commissioned as a junior officer and reported for duty aboard the USS Juneau on March 2, 1942. The USS Juneau's service was marked by bravery, but ended tragically on November 13, 1942, when it was struck by a torpedo and sank within 20 seconds. Of the nearly 700 sailors aboard, only 100 survived in the initial sinking, but rescue delays meant only 10 were ultimately saved. Ensign Sutton's body was never recovered. Among those lost were the 5 Sullivan brothers, later immortalized in the film The Fighting Sullivans. In recognition of his sacrifice, the USS Sutton was commissioned in his honor, with his mother, Lily Mae Sutton, christening the ship on August 6, 1944 in Tampa, Florida. Shelton Sutton's legacy endures as a symbol of heroism, both on the playing field and in service to his country. Today, we remember and celebrate Shelton Slim Sutton's remarkable journey as we induct him into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame. Receiving the award for Shelton Sutton is
If you've not read his story, it's pretty amazing, but in recognition of his success and also his sacrifice, I'm honored to accept this on Slim's behalf and his family. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame is Kay Stafford. Kay Stafford, a 1964 graduate of Vidalia High School, embodied dedication, leadership, and excellence throughout his athletic and professional career. His contribution to multiple sports during his time at Vidalia left an enduring legacy. Stafford lettered for 3 years in basketball, where he played as a key reserve during his junior and senior seasons. His efforts were in Vidalia achieved back-to-back region titles in 1964 and 1960. The team reaching the state quarterfinals. His senior year was especially notable as the basketball team posted an impressive 24-2 record. On the baseball field, Stafford's talent shone through as a 3-year letterman and a 2-year starting catcher. He led his team with the highest batting average during his junior year, and in his senior year, he guided the team to a second-place region finish, a significant achievement in only the program. Where he started at guard on the freshman football team and lettered as a sophomore. He later transferred to the University of Georgia to concentrate on academics, graduating in 1968 with a degree in business administration. His pursuit of excellence continued with a master's degree from the University of Southern California in 1969. In 1969, Stafford entered active duty in the United States Army. Deployed to Vietnam in 1970, he was promoted to first lieutenant in August of 1970. His service was marked by courage and dedication, earning him a Purple Heart before his return to the United States in 1971. After his military service, Stafford completed his education at the University of Georgia Law School, graduating in 1972. He returned to Vidalia to practice law, becoming a respected figure in the community. Kay Stafford's journey from standout athlete to distinguished professional is a testament to his resilience, leadership, and commitment. Today, we honor his contributions by inducting him into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame.
This is somewhat overwhelming. First of all, I want to thank John Sharp and the committee on organizing the Vidalia Athletic Hall of Fame. It takes a special commitment to pull this off successfully, and these guys and ladies have done it. And it's most meaningful. And next, I want to say it's an honor to be selected as an inductee, and it's even a greater honor to be part of this class, the third class of the fellow 13 inductees. It's an honor to be with you guys and young men, young ladies. First of all, I want to thank my fellow teammates. They're very special to me. With their commitment, we established a team spirit, better known as esprit de corps. What does that mean? In simple layman's terms, our team, we were committed to accountability, responsibility, trustworthiness, and loyalty to ourselves, our teammates, our coaches, Vidalia High School teachers, and some very special memories. Next, I'd like to say recognize the coaches. We all know coaches make tough decisions. A lot depends on determining who's dependable. We know that everybody has different levels of ability. Sometimes it depends on who do you think will get the job done on the field, but maybe doesn't have the highest ability. Coaches make those kind of decisions. And I appreciate their support and encouragement for our team, and this applies to today. And on that point, I encourage all of us, to be more active in sports boosters, supporting the program, and encouraging coaches and young men and young ladies in Vidalia athletics. Now, the teachers and the coaches, I want to say, are to be commended for their commitment to young men and young ladies in athletics, for encouraging them and supporting them. But most important, coaches and teachers in our city say academics and athletics go together. They go together. And that's very meaningful to me. Coaches they like to win. They want a team that wins. There's nothing wrong with winning. But also they are involved in building young men, young ladies' character, to stand these young men, young women in good stead for trials and tribulations that probably going to face them down the road after the football, basketball, softball, the athletic careers are over. Character building. Thank you, coaches and teachers. Now, I want to, in my 7th grade, 1959, Coach Ed Smith came to Vidalia Recreation Department. And I just want to say that I grew up with Ed, Coach Smith. I didn't play midget football because they had the weight limit. I was overweight, 8 pounds. And I said, Coach, let me practice. Okay, you can practice. And then about 3 days later, the higher up said, weight limit applies to practice too. So I spent my buddies and said, now, fellows, this is Heartbreak Hotel. I wanted to play football. But anyway, I played baseball. Jack said, we had a lot of good teams with Coach Smith, baseball. I want to say that in closing, I want to mention also Coach Ralph Parsons. My junior year, he coached football, head coach, football, basketball, and baseball. My senior year, he head coached football and basketball. Men and women, ladies, gentlemen. When Coach Parsons, he didn't say a lot, but when he spoke, you listened, and you had immediate respect for that man. And you wanted to win for him. You wanted to do your best. And he told basketball. He said it doesn't matter if you're not a shooter. He said defense, play defense, rebounding, hit the open guy, cutting through, assist. He found a place he found a place for everybody on the team. And he encouraged everybody on the court, practice court, the football field. And when he came up to you and he said something to you, he didn't shout or holler. When he spoke, you listened and you respected the man. Now, having said that, in this special time of the year, I wish you a Merry Christmas. May you have a joyful time with your family and loved ones. Thank you.
Our next inductee this afternoon is Vicky Davis. Vicky Davis, a 1970 graduate of Vidalia High School, epitomizes the spirit of dedication and excellence that defines the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame. Like many of her fellow inductees, Vicky's athletic journey began with the Vidalia Recreation Department, where she honed her skills in basketball, track and field, and swimming. Vicky's time at Vidalia High School was marked by numerous achievements. She lettered 4 years in basketball, earning MVP honors her senior year for her outstanding play and leadership on the court. Additionally, Vicky's versatility shone through as she lettered 4 years in tennis, playing as a #1 singles competitor in her senior year. Beyond these athletic commitments, she also brought her school spirit to life as a cheerleader for 2 years. After high school, Vicky attended Florida State University during a pivotal era for women's collegiate sports. FSU had initiated its women's athletic program in 1968, and by 1971, the newly formed AIAW Conference began governing intercollegiate women's sports across the Southeast. Vicky continued to excel athletically, lettering 1 year in softball as a shortstop and 2 years in basketball as a point guard. Over her 2 seasons, the basketball team boasted a 21-11 record and secured first place in the senior division tournament each year. In addition to her athletic pursuits, Vicky was an active participant in the Florida State Flying High Circus, performing during summers at Callaway Gardens and showing her multifaceted talents. Beyond her collegiate career, Vicky dedicated herself to education and community service. As a highly successful math teacher at Vidalia High School, she inspired countless students both in the classroom and through her work teaching hundreds of children to swim. Please join us in celebrating Vicky Davis as an accomplished athlete, devoted educator, and community role model as we honor her induction into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame.
I'm just slow now. Watch me break it. Well, this is truly an honor. I want to start by thanking, as everybody else has, John, and not just his committee, but his whole team, his teamwork, and they have done a marvelous job. Would you agree with me? I'm going to be brief. That's what I was told to do. But I will start by saying I like to play. I just like to play, whether it's board games or pickleball or any kind of sport that I can play. I enjoy it. I moved to Vidalia in the 6th grade, and it was an eye-opening, wonderful experience. And if I could see you, Coach Smith, I'd be talking to you. You opened my eyes to organized sports, and I loved every minute of it. And he was a great coach, but even more than that, he was a mentor, and he was funny, and he kept me laughing all the time. And I'm going to have to jump ahead just a little bit because of him. My first degree of several was in recreation. And Coach Smith, I don't see how you did it. I could not live on the budget that was given for a recreation director. But you did. You made it work, and you supported me all the way. I greatly appreciate that. One quick story. My 9th grade year, I was on the varsity team, and you will recognize this name, but I won't tell you yet. The story behind this is he had 3 boys. He coached football. He had a great team. And all of a sudden, he was thrown in to coach a girls' basketball team. With all the hormones and teenage years, he had no idea what to do with us. And I think it was Kay's team that said they were like 22-2 or something like that. We were 2-20. And at the end of the season, when we had the all-sports banquet, everybody stood up, all the coaches stood up and talked about their team and their winning season. And Coach Cravey stood up and said, "Thank God for East Lawrence." That was the only team we beat twice. Well, I was, with the pictures up there, I just have to explain that I didn't know whether I should add the Florida State Flying Eye Circus to that, because that was not an athletic sport. But I tell you, it took a lot of athleticism. And I didn't really remember this, but my mother said, when I said I'm going to go to Florida State University, she said, "I knew that's what you'd choose." And I said, "How did you know?" Well, I had been there when I was young at Callaway Gardens and seen the circus. And I said right then, I'm going to be in the circus. I don't remember that at all. But I went to FSU, and my first course that I enrolled in was a 1-hour credit, one time only, for circus. The history, everything about it, and I fell in love with that too. Of course, did I tell you I like to play? I did. I played everything. Another thing I tried out for, swim team. I was doing okay, but I couldn't go to class afterwards. I fell asleep. Had to quit that. Tried out for cheerleading. They only have 3 openings. I made the top 10, but I did not make the 3. I tried out for tennis. They said, "You would make a good sparring partner. Would you like to come and play with our team?" Oh, no, I'm not going to invest that amount of time for not playing. So I went through all of them until I finally found softball. And that was a sport that I enjoyed and loved. The problem was softball's big season is in the spring. The circus big time is in the spring. New outfits, new costume, new music, new performances, everything. And the circus coach saw me on the softball field and came and got me and said, "Circus is a year-round event. You can't do this." So I had my career with softball was shortened, but they still include me. We have our reunions every other year, and they still include me as if I was a team player. We had the most of all of the classes after that. We had the most this past year when we celebrated 50 years. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, it was our decade that had the most that were there. Of all the coaches that I've had, and I've had Buck Cravey, I've had John Connell, I've had Buddy Thigpen coach me tennis. Well, he drove us. And of all the coaches, the one that is near and dear to my heart is the one that I opened up with, and it's Coach Ed Smith, a very special man, well deserving of the accolades that he has received. And I just cannot say enough about him. Thank you, Ed. To my parents, who were great leaders, educators, and mentors to many, I have a little mantra that I would like to say for all of you who are actively involved with youth. as mentors, teachers, or whatever, we don't have enough of you to help them grow into being responsible citizens who care about others. So this is my mantra. I'm having a loss of words right now. I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than merely show their way. An eye is better, and a pupil and listening is concerned, but I'd rather see what you are doing to help me learn. And I will end with, please find somebody to be a mentor for.
One of the school's most well-rounded and dedicated athletes. His commitment and talent across multiple sports earned him a place of honor in Vidalia's rich athletic history. Blunt's high school career was marked by success and leadership. In baseball, he was a 2-year letter winner who contributed significantly to his team's success, culminating in a region championship during his senior year. On the gridiron, Blunt was a standout player, lettering for 3 years and playing a key role in the team's impressive 29-8 record over that span. His tenure included 2 region championships, a thrilling run to the semifinals, and a state championship victory in 1969. As captain during his senior year, he demonstrated exceptional leadership and skill, earning him a spot on the All-State team as an end for the 1970 season. Blunt's athleticism extended to the basketball court, where he was a powerful presence as a post player. Over 3 seasons, he helped guide his team to a region title and a memorable trip to the state semifinals in 1969. His influence on and off the court was widely recognized, leading him to being voted the most athletic and friendliest by his senior class. Following high school, Blunt continued to showcase his talent by playing basketball at Georgia Southwestern College, where he further honed his skills and represented Vidalia with pride. Today, we honor Wayne Blunt's legacy of athletic excellence and leadership as we induct him into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame. Receiving the honor posthumously is Wayne's son, Andy.
Wow, this is so real. First of all, them glasses Daddy had on, I don't know what he was thinking. But it truly is an honor and a privilege to be here. I know, I wish he was here. He was a great guy. I did get to watch him, this football game, the state championship game. I did get to watch it, and I think I watched a couple of basketball games of his. But he taught me a lot of lessons in life, more than sports. But growing up, I saw firsthand how much sports shaped my dad, not just in terms of athletic achievement, but the values he carried in every day. Discipline, teamwork, resilience, and integrity. Whether it was in the field, in the gym, or even at home, he approached everything with the same drive and determination to earn him this recognition tonight. But beyond the stats, the trophies, and the championships, what makes my dad truly a Hall of Famer worthy is the impact he made on others. He inspired teammates, coached younger athletes, and set an example for everyone who knew him. His legacy is about more than his own success. It's about lifting others to achieve theirs. And I just want to thank Coach Sharpton and the committee tonight, and we love y'all. Go Indians.
Our next inductee this evening is Steve Waugh. Steve Waugh graduated from Vidalia High School in 1973, where he cemented his Steve Waugh graduated from Vidalia High School in 1973, where he cemented his legacy of one of the school's most outstanding golfers. A four-year letterman, Steve was the cornerstone of a powerhouse golf team that captured back-to-back region and state titles in 1972 and 1973. His individual brilliance was on full display in 1972 as he earned low medalist honors at the Class A state championship with a remarkable round of 73. The following year, he followed up with a stellar second-place finish, carding a 75. After high school, Steve received a golf scholarship to Georgia Southern College, where he continued to excel on the course from 1973 to 1978. As a three-time participant in the NCAA National Championship tournaments and a two-time competitor in the USGA National Amateur Championship, Steve proved he could compete at the highest levels of amateur golf. In 1977, he graduated with a degree in business management and assumed the role of team captain for the 1977-78 season, demonstrating both his skill and leadership. Steve pursued a professional playing career from 1979 to 1980 before joining the PGA of America as a Class A member in 1983. Over his career, he competed in multiple national tournaments, including 4 PGA Professional National Championships, 5 PGA Senior Professional National Championships, and the prestigious 2010 Senior PGA Championship at Colorado Golf Club. In addition to his playing career, Steve established himself as one of the top club professionals in the country. Beginning in 1984, he served as director of golf at Amelia Island Plantation and held leadership roles at Boca West Club, Collier's Reserve Country Club, and the Old Collier Golf Club, where he transitioned to PGA General Manager in 2021. His professional excellence has earned him numerous accolades, including Golf Professional of the Year and election to the South Florida Section PGA Hall of Fame in 2024. Steve's lifelong dedication to golf, from his stellar high school and collegiate days to his success as a professional and industry leader, is a testament to his talent, passion, and perseverance. Please join us in celebrating Steve Waugh, a true legend and a Vidalia Hall of Fame inductee.
I did write down a few things, but this is going to be pretty useless. First of all, John Sharp and the committee, I can't thank you enough for including me in this Hall of Fame. This honor is beyond anything I ever thought would ever happen. You know, everybody talked about a lot of the coaches they had who are, who got us started. When we moved to Vidalia, I was in the 3rd grade, and the first exposure I had to Vidalia athletics was Coach Ed Smith. He was bigger than life, played football, baseball, and I'll never forget playing quarterback for Coach Smith. You know, he was either grabbing me by my face mask, telling me, "Look at me, son," or pulling me up by my waistband, trying to get the air back in my body after being knocked out. So I respect him a lot for both of those. Coach Smith, you made a major impact in so many people's lives, and we all do appreciate you. The other coach in my high school career was our golf coach. Coach Parsons, Ralph Parsons, He was like Coach Smith. He did a lot for a lot of people, a lot of sports. He was our golf coach, and you know he always exemplified integrity, honor, how to behave yourself on the golf course. Taught us a lot, and it was lessons that you'll take with you forever. Last year, our team got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and unfortunately, I couldn't be here. When I got the call from Coach Sharp about this year, first of all, I didn't know what to say. I was speechless, but I was so happy that I would be able to come this year. And I was hopeful to see some of my teammates, and they did come. They did show up. And Tom Watley, Hal Parsons, Pat Parker were here tonight. And I can't tell you enough about how much I appreciate you guys coming. It's very, very special for you guys to be here. And to see a lot of the other classmates from Vidalia High School here, it's been great. It's been great catching up with everyone. You know, somebody asked me, what does it mean to you to be inducted into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame? Well, it is a humbling experience. When you think of all the incredible Hall of Famers, I mean, the folks that we've seen come on stage tonight, it's just amazing that I could even be thought of in the same terms as these people, these great people. Vidalia has always had the, in my mind, and for sure, Vidalia has always been extremely supportive of all athletics, juniors, high school, all the different sports. And that's what I remember most about growing up in Vidalia, how the community always came together, always supported the youth in sports and in other areas. I can't even imagine how, I can't tell you how impressive this facility is. The sports fields, the interior of the high school, this auditorium, it's just it's just a tribute to what this community has done here in Vidalia. And the teachers that you think back on, all the coaches that you experienced in your youth and your high school years, you know, it's a humbling thing to think about what you've experienced and the lessons that you learned. If I look down here, I'll probably start breaking down a little bit. My family's here tonight. Most of them, some of them are here tonight. My son and his family are in Orlando and they couldn't make it, but my daughter and her family from Atlanta are here. Both my sisters are here with their families. It's great to have family get-togethers, and we always do a big thing at Thanksgiving. And when I come to Vidalia, my dad always wants to get me in the car and drive around and see things in town, and we always end up here at the high school. He said, "I want you to come see the high school." I said, "Dad, I've seen the high school. We're going to go look at the high school." And so he's very proud. He's very proud of Vidalia. He's very proud of being a big supporter of Vidalia and Vidalia sport in the high school for a long time. My wife Cindy's here tonight, and there's certain people in your life that you know have had the biggest influence on your lives. And I met Cindy in Georgia Southern, and we were married a couple of years after we graduated, and she's provided me with the best family, and she supported me all through and through. A career in golf, you work a lot of hours, and she's done a fantastic job with our family, and she's always been there for me, and I love you, sweetheart. Thank you. The other person that has meant the most to me, two people. One of them is here tonight. But my mom and dad, they have been the very best example of what a good person should be in life. And they've taught me so many lessons. My mom is not with us anymore. She passed away last year, but my dad is here tonight. And when I think of the best example I've ever experienced as being a good Christian, honest, integrity, family-oriented person, that's him. And Dad, I love you, and I appreciate everything you've done for me and my family. Thank you very much. Once again, I'm honored to be thought of as part of the 2024 Hall of Fame class at Vidalia High School. It's a phenomenal. It's a great honor to be included in your class. Thank you very much for everything. John, thanks for everything. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
This evening's next inductee is Bobby Hodge. Bobby Hodge, a 1991 graduate of Vidalia High School, left an unforgettable legacy as a powerful and determined athlete. Standing at 6'5" and weighing 300 pounds, Hodge was among the first high school players to surpass the 300-pound mark, making him an imposing presence on the field. Hodge's athletic talents were evident across multiple sports. He was a 3-year letter winner in track, excelling in the shot put and discus, where he consistently contended for state titles. His strength and technique made him a formidable competitor and a respected figure in the track and field circles. On the football field, Hodge's impact was even more pronounced. As a 2-year letter winner, he played a pivotal role in leading Vidalia to an impressive 20-3 record over his 2 seasons, highlighted by a region championship in 1980 and a run to the state quarterfinals. His outstanding performances earned him a spot on the All-State first team, cementing his reputation as one of the best players of his time. Hodge's remarkable high school career garnered attention from major college programs, leading him to sign a scholarship with Georgia Tech. At Tech, he continued to excel, playing 3 seasons of football and starting for 2 years on the defensive line. His preseason All-ACC selection in 1983 was a testament to his skill and leadership. Hodge was consistently among the team's leaders in tackles and sacks, and even recorded an interception during his collegiate career. Beyond the field, Hodge exemplified dedication and resilience. After his football career, he devoted over 24 years to his professional life, serving as a distribution manager for Fisherman and Tobin Distribution before retiring in March of 2024. Today, we celebrate Bobby Hodge's outstanding contributions to Vidalia High School and his achievements beyond, welcoming him into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank everyone for attending the induction of the 2024 Hall of Fame. All of the student athletes, we really appreciate your attendance. And I want to thank all of the athletes for attending. First of all, we were really taught to excel academically and professionally in our sport, and we had the support of the Vidalia High School teachers and academic team, as well as the coaches. The coaches really taught us how to play the sports that we excelled in, and I just want to say that I only played 2 years of high school football, and I really didn't understand the concept of my position, but Coach Cravey said, all I want you to do is tackle the person with the ball. And I did that to the best of my ability. And sometimes I tackled the person that didn't have the ball. If you was close to them, you got tackled too. Coach Helms taught me how to throw the discus, shot put. Coach Reno Jones taught me how to get in a proper stance and how to fire off, which is very important when you're playing on the defensive line. And I had a lot of friends during my high school period, and both academically and in sports. One of my best friends was John Sharp, who attended Georgia Tech with me. And on some days when all of the athletes were going out to drink and do their little things that they like to do that we didn't approve of, we would end up in the Student Athletics Center, and we would bowl and shoot pool and play basketball, play ping pong. And I really enjoyed that, John. John's family, mom and dad, along with Barry Blunt's family, made sure that I made it home on the weekends, which was real enjoyable because nobody wants to get stuck at school on the weekends when everybody's gone. So I want to thank their families for supporting me on that. And most of all, I want to support my mom and dad and my family members, brothers and sisters, who have supported me throughout my career, academically and in sports. And they also supported me during my professional career as a manager in the distribution, which I enjoyed very much. And I did it for a total of 41 years. I want to thank everybody for really supporting all of the student athletes because they really need your support. We also have a great booster program here at Vidalia High School that supported us during each and every one of our games and our matches. Thank everyone, and God bless everyone.
Our next inductee is David Hodge. David was a 1982 graduate of Vidalia High School where he made a significant mark in multiple sports. In track, he lettered for 3 years and was part of the 4x400 meter relay team that set a school record. David also lettered for 2 years in basketball, playing an important reserve role on the region championship team of 1982. This team finished the season with a remarkable 20-7-3. This team finished the season with a remarkable 27-3 record and advanced to the state championship game, falling short to Crawford County, led by future NBA star Kenny Walker. David's greatest athletic success came on the football field. He lettered for 3 years and was a starting defensive end throughout, while also starting at tight end during his senior year. Over his senior high school career, his teams went 31-5, winning 2 region titles. His defense was especially dominant, giving up only 9.3 points per game and recording 12 shutouts. After high school, David continued his football career at Georgia Southern, where he played under the legendary coach Irk Russell. He was a member of the national championship teams in 1985 and 1986, and as a 2-year starter at linebacker, he recorded more than 60 tackles and 6 sacks. He graduated in 1988 with a Bachelor of Science in Biology and returned to Vidalia High School to teach and coach for 2 years, during which the football team posted a 20-5 record. He also became the school's early head wrestling coach. After his coaching tenure, David embarked on a 21-year career as a nuclear oversight auditor at Plant Hatch. David Hodge's legacy of athletic excellence and character continues to inspire, and today we proudly induct him into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm not a man of many words, but I have a few. What a privilege it is to be here. Something totally unexpected, but nevertheless honored and grateful to the committee. I want to first thank my parents, my mother and father. Think about the sacrifices that our parents make in our behalf. My parents did that. They taught us moral values. Sometimes we didn't listen, but nevertheless they taught them to us. Taught us how to respect others and to respect ourselves as well. Humility, a strong work ethic. I can remember my father saying, if you're going to do something, do it right the first time. And a lot of people look at me and think that's trying to be perfect. No, it's trying to do it right the first time. I think my family, my wife, Sharon, 36 years, thank you for being supportive. And Mr. Sasser said something about the Blunts and the Sassers. Well, if you look over on that side, I think we got that whole side. Thank you, family, for your support. I want to thank the coaches, Coach Cravey, Coach Helms, Coach Goodman, Coach James, Coach Jones, Coach Sasser, all men who had an impact, not only playing sports, but even throughout life. My teachers, Miss Connor, Miss Mixon, Miss Baker, Somerset, Miss Bellamy. I think I would have been on the 400 wing when you look at those names, science, math. They motivated me to love science, and that's why, therefore, a biology degree. Miss Snell, Mr. Turner, and others. It prepared me for life after high school. I was able to come back here in 1988 and teach biology, physical science for 2 years. My brother, who went before me, I was used to following him. And I never minded it. I always wanted to follow him. You know, as a big brother, you want to follow your big brother. Thank you, big brother, for letting me follow. I wanted to follow him to Georgia Tech. I remember Bill Curry coming to our home, and he says, I'm going to get both of you in school together. Boy, I had dreams of playing at Tech with my brother. Well, it didn't happen. Eric Russell, I think Coach Cravey spoke with him. I walked on, didn't have a scholarship anywhere. He says, if you come, pay your first year through school, and you work hard, we'll give you a full scholarship. And that's what happened. When you surround yourself, with good people, good things happen. I was fortunate enough to be surrounded with good people. I think the scripture actually says, wise people, Proverbs 13:20. Good things are going to happen. So there were people who believed in me, who saw in me the things I didn't see in myself. And that's what we need. We need to believe in each other, encourage each other, and that's what motivates us to do good. Thank you once again, committee.
This evening's next inductee is Micah Wise. Micah Wise, a 1985 graduate of Vidalia High School, distinguished himself as one of the school's most accomplished and versatile athletes. His commitment and talent shone across multiple sports, leaving a legacy of excellence that continues to inspire. Wise lettered 1 year in both basketball and cross country, showcasing his all-around athletic ability. However, it was on the football field and track where he truly excelled. A 3-year letter winner and starting defensive back, Wise played a crucial role in Vidalia's success on the gridiron. Over his 3 years, he helped lead the team to an impressive 24-10 record, securing a region title and advancing to the playoffs twice. In track and field, Wise's achievements were nothing short of remarkable. He lettered for 3 years and was instrumental in leading Vidalia to back-to-back region titles during his junior and senior years. His leadership and speed were especially evident in the 4x100-meter relay team, which won consecutive region titles, placing 4th in the state his junior year and 3rd in his senior year, setting school records both times. Perhaps most notably, Wise claimed state titles in the triple jump for 3 consecutive years, an exceptional feat that placed him among the elite in high school athletics. His record-setting performances in the triple jump still stand as a testament to his extraordinary talent and determination. Micah Wise's legacy at Vidalia High School is a story of hard work, skill, and perseverance. His contributions continue to be celebrated, and today we honor him by inducting him into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame. Receiving the award for Micah Wise is his cousin and coach of the 1968 J.D. Dickerson basketball team, who was inducted into the 2023 Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
To be sure that I acknowledge the efforts of all concerned, I jotted some things down. To Principal Mulkey, I hope that's right. Pronounce your name for me, please. That's right, yes, ma'am, Ms. Bell. To Principal Mulkey, John Sharp, who is the son of one of my very dear friends, Miss Frances Sharp. To the Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, I accept this most prestigious award for my second cousin, Micah Wise. With a spirit of appreciation to all concerned, for recognizing, acknowledging, and honoring excellence, achievements of excellence in Vidalia. And I thank John for asking me to do this because, as it was said, I sat over there last year and I was so overwhelmed, I did not soak in everything, but I'm gonna see if I can get some help about that, for that tonight. And so we were always taught that anything worth doing is worth doing well. And if you enjoy what you are doing, it's not a job. So we say, to God be the glory for all of you for making this possible to us. And again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Veronica Nails. Veronica Nails, a 1987 graduate of Vidalia High School, was a formidable and dynamic athlete who excelled in multiple sports. Her legacy is defined by her unwavering dedication, skill, and leadership. Nails was a standout in track, lettering 3 years and consistently competing at the highest level. Her senior year saw her finish second in the state meet for shot put, highlighting her strength and technique. In softball, Nails was an essential force on the field, lettering all 4 years and helping lead her team to a remarkable 23-3 record her senior year. This season culminated in a region title and the first ever state championship for a female athletic team in Vidalia High School history. Basketball was where Nails truly made her mark, dominating as a post player for 4 years. She led her team in both scoring and rebounds for 3 consecutive seasons, propelling Vidalia to an impressive 67-16 record over that period. Under her leadership, the team secured 3 sub-region titles and 2 region championships. Recognized by her peers, Nails was voted most athletic and friendliest in her senior class, an acknowledgement of her sportsmanship and camaraderie. Following high school, Nails continued her basketball career at Albany State, where she led her for 2 years and showcased her talents on a collegiate level. In recent years, she has shared her passion for the sports as an assistant coach for the Tattnall County girls basketball team, contributing to their success and region titles. Veronica Nails' contributions to Vidalia High School and beyond reflect her excellence and dedication to athletics. Today, we honor Veronica Nails and her remarkable achievements by inducting her into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame.
I will make mine short and simple. When I first heard about this, a couple of friends called me about why wasn't I inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I told them the only place I was worried about my name being on a list was in the Lamb Life, in the book of, you know what I'm saying, in heaven. But I started out, I can remember in 1982, I won softball throw, the rec department. They flew me to West Virginia, and I got last, but I enjoyed it. Had a great time. Coach Reed, him being my basketball coach, Coach Fuller, track and field, he said he'd rather clothe us than feed us. He would buy us 5 dresses, and that would be it, because we can eat like Jill, Judy, Kathy. We can eat like men. But I'm honored. I'm humble. Thank you.
This evening's next inductee is Jason Palmer. Jason Palmer, a 1989 graduate of Vidalia High School, left an enduring legacy as one of the school's most versatile and accomplished athletes. Selected as the most athletic of his senior class, Palmer's accolades spanned multiple sports, showcasing his talent and dedication. In baseball, Palmer was a 4-year letter winner who made a significant impact as a 2-year starter. His skill at the plate earned him the Best Hitter award during his junior year. Over his junior and senior seasons, he achieved an impressive .428 batting average, complemented by 5 home runs and 39 RBIs. Palmer's athletic prowess extended to the track, where he was a 3-year letter winner and a fierce competitor. His speed was exemplified by winning the sub-region in the 100-meter dash. Football, however, was where Palmer truly shined. As a 3-year letter winner and a 2-year starting quarterback, he led his team to an outstanding 17-6 record, capturing a region title and advancing to the state quarterfinals in his senior year. His exceptional performance earned him a place on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution's prestigious Super 11 prospects list at the start of his senior season. He was also named to the Savannah Morning News All-Coastal Empire team and recognized by the Macon Telegraph as one of Georgia's Sweet 16 seniors. His outstanding play was honored in being named first-team All-State in Class AA and being selected to participate in the Georgia North-South All-Star Game. Additionally, he earned a spot on Lindsay's Southeast Recruiting Guide All-Georgia team. Palmer's stellar high school career earned him a scholarship to the University of Georgia, highlighting the promise of a bright future on the gridiron. Unfortunately, an injury during his freshman year curtailed his collegiate playing days. Despite the abrupt end to his college career, Jason Palmer's contribution to Vidalia High School's athletic legacy remain an inspiration. Today, we honor Jason Palmer by inducting him into the Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I will say those lights got bright. And I sure do look a lot younger in those pictures. Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for being here. I also have some notes written down, and I hope they will keep me on point and moving forward. First, I would like to thank the committee and Vidalia High School Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. I'm humbled to be inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 2024. I would also like to congratulate my fellow 2024 inductees. It's been a pleasure to get to know all of you, your families. It's truly been an honor. I would also like to recognize some folks along with some coaches. First, my parents. They're both here tonight, and they both graduated from Vidalia High School. Both were athletes. And according to my mom, they were very good athletes. If you don't believe it, just ask her. All joking aside, what I will say about my parents is thank you for 20 years of endless support and sacrifices. I'm not sure how many games y'all attended supporting two kids, but over a 20-year period, it was quite a few. And I do know that over that 20-year period, one, if not both of my parents were at every game. And that's special. My wife and kids are here tonight. Thank y'all for your support. Appreciate y'all being here. I would also like to recognize some coaches that impacted my career and my life while I was at Vidalia High School. I think what I remember most about the coaches at Vidalia High School, it seemed like no matter the sport, they could always get us to do more than we thought we could do, if that makes sense. At this time, my baseball coaches in 9th and 10th grade, Coach Ray Fuller. I had the pleasure of playing for Coach Greg James my 11th and 12th grade year. So Coach James is a fellow inductee into the Hall of Fame and well-deserved. Next, Coach John Goodman. I'm sure many of you remember Coach Goodman. He was my first B-team football coach. I started in Vidalia High School the last quarter of 8th grade. So I got to play for Coach Goodman that spring semester. And the story I'll tell you about that is at that time we still had spring jamborees. I'm sure a lot of you remember those. So I had practice for a couple weeks. Spring jamboree rolls around. We're in the 4th quarter. I hadn't played a snap. And Coach Goodman asks, he comes over to the sideline and he goes, "Has everybody been in the game?" And my friend Hugh Dixon, he goes, "Coach Goodman, Palmer hadn't been in." And I'm like, I don't even want to go in at this point. 2 minutes left. But it got better. It got better. The second year, as a 9th grader, I played nose guard and tight end on the B-team football. And I kind of liked it. So Coach Goodman, and I will also say Coach Goodman was a Clemson fan, and I made a few visits over to Clemson, and he was always kind enough to volunteer to take me to Clemson to visit on a Saturday for a game. Coach Ladson Helms, varsity football and track. And what I remember most about Coach Helms, and he was Coach Cravey's offensive coordinator, if there's a such thing as Coach Cravey's offensive coordinator. But he did convince me to run track. And growing up in Shelton, Georgia, I barely knew what track was and had never participated in track, but he convinced me that I might be fast enough to be competitive and help him win a region championship. So we go to Glenville, Georgia, spring of my 10th grade year, and the first track meet I participated in, Coach Helms decided I should run the 400 meters because I was tall and I had long strides, and he said I would do really good at it. And I believed him. So we get down, and as you know, in the 400 meters, it's a staggered start on the curve. It's one lap around the track. So I said, "Coach Helms," he said, "Are you ready?" I said, "I think so. What I need to do?" And I was in lane 2, and there was a guy out in lane 5 from Glenville High School who was the state 400-meter champion from the previous year, which I did not know at the time. But he told me, he said, "If you'll catch him by the time y'all finish this first curve," he said, "you'll have a good chance to win the race." And I took him at his word. And I could hear the fans as I was going around that first curve. I could hear them kind of oohing and ahhing like, something big was going on. And I was smoking them. And I got to about the 200-yard marker on the back straightaway, and the balls of my feet, the skin started to split. I could feel them splitting, and as they say, the bear was jumping on my back. I was down to a slow jog. And then, to speed the story up, I finished last. And I got back, and he said, "Palmer, are you going to be able to do the high jump?" I said, "Coach," I said, "the skin under my feet is split." I said, "I think I'm done for the day, and I'd like to talk to you about a shorter race." But he believed in me, and it got better also. So I did have some success in the 100 meters, but I was not a 400-meter runner. Lastly, I will Coach Buck Cravey. There's not a lot to be said about Coach Cravey, I don't think, that hasn't been said. He was one of a kind for sure. That I do know. And he believed in me, and I believed in him. But I do have one story about Coach Cravey. Many of you probably remember after I'd graduated and I was back in Vidalia, I think TV 43, they televised some Pinewood Christian football games. After Coach Cravey had retired, he went over to Pinewood. So I was at home in the evenings, and I was flipping through the channels, and Pinewood was on. I said, well, that's where Coach Cravey is. I want to watch this game. And turned it on, and I think they threw 30 passes in the game. And I said, well, that's kind of odd. You know, we threw it on 3rd and 20, but it really wasn't an option other than that. So I ran into him a month or so after that. I was out at Big Owl's having lunch, and Coach Cravey and his son were in there. And I walked up to him. I said, Coach Cravey, it's good to see you. He said, it's good to see you too. I said, well, I got a question for you. He said, what's that? I said, well, what in the world's happened to you? I said, I flipped on your game from last week. I said, y'all were throwing the ball all over the field. In that Coach Cravey way, he looked at me and he said, Palmer, I finally got a quarterback that could throw it. So I understood what he was talking about. So those are my stories, and those are some good ones and some of the ones that I remember. But I'll leave you with this. And when people ask me what I remember and miss about football and sports, I honestly can't tell you about a certain play, you know, a best game, how many yards I had, or anything like that. What I remember are the relationships. The relationships with the coaches, the fans, and I jotted down in my notes here, the Booster Club dinners on Wednesday nights, if any of you remember that. That was a big deal. It was fellowship, you know, coming together. But most of all, what I remember are my teammates. And I had great teammates, and many of those guys are still great friends today, and for that I'm thankful. And in closing, I'll just say thank you for being a part of my career. Go Indians.
This evening's next inductee is Joe Hall. Joe Hall, a 1994 graduate of Vidalia High School, distinguished himself as an exceptional multi-sport athlete whose achievements spanned football, basketball, and track. His dedication and talent on and off the field exemplified the best of Vidalia's athletic tradition. Hall's impact on the basketball court began as a key reserve on a team that advanced to the second round of the state tournament during his freshman year. By his sophomore and junior years, he had become a consistent starter, scoring in double figures and leading his team in steals. He earned 3 varsity letters in basketball, showcasing his versatility and defensive prowess. It was on the football field where Hall's legacy truly shined. Over 3 years as a starter, he rushed for over 2,500 yards, averaging an impressive 7 yards per carry. His contributions were instrumental in leading Vidalia to back-to-back quarterfinal appearances, highlighted by a career-best performance of over 200 yards in the region championship game against Waycross. Hall's senior season saw him accumulate over 600 yards on kick returns, earning him the Three Rivers Quarterback Club's Back of the Week honor 5 times and being named Team MVP. His standout play earned him second-team All-Coastal Empire recognition. Hall also excelled in track, where he led it all 4 years. A high point winner in most of his junior and senior meets, he competed on the 4x400 and 4x100 meter relay teams and was a state contender in the 110 high hurdles, 300 meter low hurdles, and high jump. His leadership helped Vidalia to a region title in 1994, with the team placing 3rd in the state in 1993 and 6th in 1994. His individual accomplishments included a 3rd-place finish in the 300-meter hurdles during his junior year and a state championship in the high jump, where he set a school record at 6 foot 8 inches, a record that still stands to this day. After graduating, Hall served 4 years in the military, demonstrating his commitment and discipline. He later earned a CDL and worked as a truck driver for 23 years, eventually owning his own business. Today, Joe Hall's legacy of athletic excellence and perseverance continues to inspire, and today we proudly induct Joe Hall into the Vidalia High School Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't have a speech. I wasn't expecting to say anything tonight, but I just want to thank the committee for considering me for this. I'd like to thank all my teammates that helped me get here. Thank my family and friends for sharing the night with me. And I also like to thank a special person in my life that I've known for many years. He opened up his home, his heart, treated me like a son. And I want to say, Coach Sharp, thank you for everything. Also like to thank my wife and my kids. Whew, them boys changed me now, I'm telling you. Like they say, I was a wild one, but still having kids will slow you down a lot. I thank my wife. I met her back at high school, here at Vidalia High School, and still married, 28, going strong. So once again, thank the committee. Thank y'all. Everybody have a good one.
Tonight's next inductee is Bill Sharpton. This evening's next inductee is Bill Sharpton. Bill Sharpton, a 1998 graduate of Vidalia High School, left an indelible mark on the school's athletic legacy with his outstanding achievements in both football and baseball. Bill lettered in football for 2 years, stepping into the pivotal role of starting quarterback in 1997. Under his leadership, the team shared the region title and advanced to the second round of the playoffs, where they faced the formidable Washington County Golden Hawks. Despite a hard-fought 21-14 loss, Bill's poise and skill were instrumental in the team's success. On the baseball diamond, Bill's accomplishments were equally impressive. A 4-year letterman, he was part of the 1995 state championship team, showcasing his potential from the start. He became a key starter during his sophomore and junior years, compiling a career record of 17-5 with 2 saves, a 1.96 ERA, and 222 strikeouts. In his senior season, Bill led Vidalia High School to a region title and guided the team to the state semifinals with a stellar performance on the mound, finishing with a 12-1 record, 1 save, a 1.83 ERA, and an impressive 141 strikeouts. Bill's exceptional senior year earned him numerous accolades, including selections to the Savannah Morning News Coastal Empire team and the Macon Telegraph All-Middle Georgia team. He was also named the Macon Telegraph Player of the Year, cementing his status as one of the premier high school pitchers in the state. His talent was further recognized through his participation in Team Georgia and the Georgia Dugout Club's All-Star teams. Bill continued his baseball journey at the University of Georgia, where he lettered all 4 years and compiled a 14-11 career record with 168 strikeouts. His junior year was particularly noteworthy as he played a key role in UGA's SEC championship winning season, including earning the victory over Florida State in the Super Regionals to propel the Bulldogs to the College World Series. Bill's leadership on and off the field culminated in his senior year as co-captain of the team. Please join us in honoring Bill Sharpton, a true competitor and leader, as we celebrate his induction into the Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'm last, right? I'm kidding. I'm joking. Yes, sir. I'm joking. I'm joking. Whew, it is real, man. It's real. It's tougher when you get up here. I promise you, I don't have a baseball and a mitt. Bear with me. It feels like a game day. It really does. Based on everything that I did today and the time and everything, it does. It feels like something's supposed to happen besides this, and I'm no good at it, I know. The aura
the magic in this room last year and this year. I came to last year and this year's. It's incredible. And when we got done last year, Jack talked about it. He just said the magic and the atmosphere is just unreal, and it is. And quick note, 1985, Dad took us and Mr. Max in the back. We borrowed his camper, and we went to the Hugo Bowl. That was 85, I believe. So we were over there in 85 at the Hugo Bowl, so got to see that. Just incredible stories being brought back, you know. And the main thing I want to say is, and I told Julie this when she was going through her stuff, is man gives the award, but God gives the reward. As Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, once said, "You're never too old to give recognition. Better said when young, but recognition should be given." I've learned this through the many role models in my life, and today I stand here truly humbled and thankful for the opportunity to recognize them, especially the ones in this room. This most reminds me, last year it did, and this year I stood up at Bill James' visitation right before his funeral, and I stood up, and the magic in the room was just, it was electric. It was, you get basketball teams over here, and baseball teams over here, and coaches over here, and teammates, you know, and it was crazy, and it kind of feels like tonight. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget tonight, and I'll never forget this. Mom used to say, "But for the grace of God, go I." She used to say, "Humble pie." And she used to say, "All God's children." That's why I'm here. Today, as I reflect on the incredible people who helped shape me, I know it's their love, guidance, and wisdom that have brought me to this moment. I hate talking about myself. I know some people are like, "You love to talk." And I do. I love to talk. But keep me up here in front of a bunch of people, and I still got to talk about Jamie and the kids. And, you know, I just fold like they're in a cheap tent. And it's crazy because it's a lot coming back at you. And after the committee called me, I was listening to Fox News one night and said, "If you want to be a public speaker, you got to speak more in public." I don't want to. So if you want to see me, just come by. We can have one-on-one or two-on-one. But to the committee, John Sharp, Tommy Daly, Bruce Mulkey, John Connor, Carol Hansley, Phyllis James, Wilson Johnson, and my Uncle Jack Sasser, Eddie Lee Singleton, and Scott Strickland, and the members of the last three entrants. I can't thank you enough for the dedication to our community and what a profound honor it is to now be a part of this. To John Sharp, you were one of the top 5 greatest men in my life. And all 5 are in this room tonight. My mom loves you. And you loved her. You've always embodied Christ-like love and humility, some that which I aspire to do each day. We're going to get through this. Sorry, okay. 1998, I can't remember if we're in the playoffs yet. Dad decides he's going to have a heart attack. And I actually saw Dad having his heart attack that morning. And so we go to school and everything like that, and we get there, and I get a call that says, "Come to Coach Sharp's office." So I get there, and I can see the look on Coach Sharp's face. I didn't say, you know, "Is it Dad?" or whatever. He just said, "Hey, your dad's okay, but he had a heart attack, and they're going to take him to Savannah, and your mom's at the house, but we still got to call Robbie. So we call Robbie, and Robbie walks in, and he looks at me, and he goes, Dad, all right? And I said, yeah, so he knew. So we're sitting there, and Coach Sharp wanted us to take a couple of seconds to just gather ourselves, and me and Robbie are sitting there in the chairs, and Coach Sharp says, all right, boys, I'm going to take you home. Robbie looks at me, and he says, Dad's made it. Dad's alive. But if Coach Sharp drives us home, we're not going to make it. Dad's truck, the brakes had given out. We're in the middle of baseball season, so we're not getting brakes fixed. We got to get there. So we're pulling that old spring-loaded thing on the right. We're down the strip when it was still, a two-lane road. We're going up and down, and we'll pull that spring. Well, anyway, Coach Sharp says, yeah, I'm going to take you home. I said, Coach, listen, Mom's at the house. It's right down the road back here. So Coach Sharp comes out there, and I'm going to take you. So he gets in this thing, and there wasn't a seat lever. You couldn't move the seat. So Coach Sharp's crammed in there. His knees are touching his ears. And he's like, Robbie's sitting in the middle. So Coach Sharp cranks it up, and we pull him back. Coach Sharp goes getting that brake pedal. We're not doing nothing. Robbie grabs that thing and says, Coach, that's the brake. So anyway, make a long story short, we made it to the house. Jack and Tommy took us to Savannah. And I get back, and Coach Sharp has fixed the brakes on the truck. 2 weeks later, Dad's back home and trying to figure out life, and we're trying to figure out baseball. And Coach James knew that we might be a little late some to get into practice or whatever, because Dad was wanting to go, and he very understanding. Well, we're back behind field 4, coming to the tennis courts. And I'm driving, Dad's on the window, Robbie's in the middle, and the truck comes, and it almost comes to a handstand. I'm staring at 292 down there, so we land back, and I said, what are we going to do? It's work. Dad's like, what's wrong? I said, we put it in reverse. We went to practice in reverse. The whole team is dying laughing, and so anyway, Coach Sharp, thank you. Love you. Never forget that. And he got the brakes fixed again. I think we were in that practice. So, anyway, personal gratitude. Coach Greg James. Where do you start? You've been a father to me. You moved it from I think I can to I know I can. It's the lessons you taught me. Thank you for everything you've done, and for your boys, Derek and Drew, who graciously shared their dad with all of us. Miss Mary, your unwavering support and love for Coach James has been a constant reminder of the power of a partnership built on respect and love. Coach James in '96, he walked out to the mound, and I was living and dying on every pitch, and I knew I was because Dad would tell me some. And it was after the '95 year. Well, he comes and puts his arm around me, and he says, Bill, he says, face the water tower. And I tell the kids' teams when we have practice games, and that this is what he did for me, and it changed my life. He put his arm around me, and he told me to look at the water tower, and he said, if you live and die, you're not going to be able to pitch the next pitch. So when I got that, it was a lot of pitches, I'll go ahead and give you that. But when I got that, it sunk in. So, Coach James, I can't thank you enough. I can stay here all night and talk to you about it and talk to y'all about it. But I love you, and I thank you for everything you've done for me. To my uncles, Tommy, Jack, Robert, Bruce, Robbie, Uncle Robbie Baxter, and Uncle Robert, what an incredible example you've set. You've shown what it means to honor our family name and to work hard every day to make a positive impact. Uncle Tommy, you're in this Hall of Fame by team and individually. But I know for a fact that you would give all that up for the son, the father, and the uncle that you are, and the teammate you are to this family. Thank you for the memories that were presented the last 2 years and the number 12 that I chased on Friday nights, on baseball and diamonds, all over the U.S., on hoop nights, and track meets, and finally in life. Uncle Jack, Thank you for always being there no matter what. Events, moments in time, special moments in time. I remember you always being there. Baseball and football games in high school, all-star games in Valdosta, Team Georgia in Oklahoma, mini games in Athens and other ball fields across America. Uncle Bruce, Hall of Fame member in Pelham, Georgia. Thank you for your belief in me to be a good person in your family's life. To let me move into your home. And showing up on the darn cold Tuesday rainy nights against UNC Asheville or something. I look up there to see and Bruce, they look like Eskimos, just bundled up, two people in the stands, and my aunt and uncle are there, you know, Robert, Jean, and Sasser. They're up there. So just thank you for everything. To my beautiful aunts, Jean Connor, your unwavering support has always meant the world to me. Cecilia. You're my spark and my guiding light. Please never stop loving and encouraging me. Maria, my champion. Your words always remind me to stand up for what's right. Aunt Gail, your love has never wavered. I'm so grateful for you. To my Aunt Fran, I miss you. I love you more than words can express. You've been my rock. And to my Aunt Julie, your gentleness and love are a constant reminder of the importance of family. The most important person in my life, the one who's shown me 18 years of sacrifice, 18 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, and love, real, unwavering love in spite of myself. It's Jamie. Without her, I wouldn't be here today, not just sports, but just here in general. I wouldn't be alive, and certainly I wouldn't be here without her. She's been my constant, my foundation. She never saw me play a single play, never saw me pitch a single pitch. But she was there at Georgia. She was there the whole time. I really believe it. The mother, the daughter, the sister, the wife, and the pillar of support she is to me and our 3 kids down there is the reason I am the man I am today. She makes it possible to relive these moments and feel like she wasn't there the whole time. She was there the whole time. She never asked for credit, and she never wants it, but she deserves it. What she does for this school and this community, and I know Mr. Mulkey and Coach Sharp would agree, is exactly what we need. She fights for the little guy and girl and cares for them in a way that makes her an invaluable part of this community. I love you. Cannon, you are the epitome of what a daughter should be. Smart, witty, fun, and always keeping me on my toes. Your beauty and your spirit are unmatched. And I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. You deserve all the good in life and the love. And I love you more than I can ever explain. Champ, I'm so proud of you. 11-year-old young man, the way you've handled the challenges you faced already is incredible. You may not be perfect, but that's what makes you perfect. Like your mother, you understand the power of faith and what God can do in our lives. I've told your mom many times that we're in your classroom. Your love for friendship and how you care for others makes your mom and me proud every single day. Thanks for being my chick. Charlie, keep doing you, little man. Keep living life like no one's watching because you're going places, kiddo. I'm so proud of the young man you're becoming, and thank you for all the questions you've asked me and continue to ask me every single day. You have a remarkable future ahead of you, and I'm honored to walk this journey with you. In the movie Overcomer, there's a line that says, if you never play ball in college, I love you and I'm proud of you. And I mean that. Whatever happens, happens, you know. Mama, my hero, my Hall of Fame, no ballot needed. 4 years ago, October, she left us and left a huge hole. Love you, Mama. Dad, the attention to detail you taught me will never be forgotten. The automatic pitcher, the automatic catcher, automatic wide receiver. Thank you for everything. He taught me an invaluable lesson. He had Coach Dick Sheridan was his football coach in Orangeburg. Dad showed up one day without new shoestrings, and he had to get a new shoestring every Friday night. And I'll never forget that story that Dad had, I think, a skateboard or a bike. He had to ride it all the way home and get new shoestrings. Grandma getting all over you. I know I'm long-winded. My brother, Robbie, I think he equally belongs in here like me, and I'll fight for that if that's what you do. I don't even know what you do, but if you compare the numbers, if you compare the numbers, Robbie's junior year, my senior year, you take me out of the equation, Robbie's the Middle Georgia Player of the Year. If we go to state and win it, he's most probably AA Player of the Year, as was I. So just want to say, thanks for the push. I love you. Thank you. Mr. James and Miss Tammy, unreal human beings. Just couldn't ask for better in-laws, nieces and nephews. I'm going to name my cousins. I'm going to name them by name. My male cousins, Jason Cotter, Jordan Sasser, Sean and Josh Sasser, Sasser Connor, Wade Johnson, and Bax Culler. My female cousins, Jennifer, Bray, Mary Connor, Hanson, Anna, Julie, Catherine, Stephanie, Jacqueline, Suzanne, Candace, Casey, Lauren, and Ruthie, and I'm sure I left somebody out. Thank y'all. Y'all were there every single step of the way. My next note, Jason, I went down in the corner. I was talking to Jack about this. I went down in the corner and saw Ray Goff the night he came to Vidalia. It was a pretty cool experience. Black trench coat. I think he had a cowboy hat. So that was another memory that had come up. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but there's a legendary story going around about Coach Colquitt, and I'm not going to tell it like the whole thing, obviously, but it boils down to Coach Colquitt wanted me to read every single practice, every single play. I couldn't throw, couldn't do. I want to read. He wanted me to read triple option. 3 games in, I didn't even know what the third option was until he said, "It's you, Bill." All right, thank you. So anyway, one day Miss Golda's, his wife, fiance, was running around the track, and he gave me a pass play, and I looked at him like I shouldn't have looked at him like that. Well, anyway, he says, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" And I said, "Coach, will you tell Miss Golda she probably needs to run at a different time around the track during practice?" And he looked at me, he said, "I'll give you pass plays if you can come up with stuff like that all the time to talk about." Because I said, "Coach, I'll stay up here with you all day. You're lots easier than my dad." And Dad wasn't hard, like it wasn't mean, but it was tough. So Jordan, the most athletic Sasser. When he stands up in a minute, y'all could probably see them guns, So rec director over on St. Simon's Islands, early morning phone calls. You are the epitome of iron sharpens iron. I love you like a brother, not just a cousin, and I'm grateful that you've allowed me into your life the way you have. I look forward to what the future holds for our relationship. To Sean, they used to say if Sean had Josh's body and I had Robbie's body, we wouldn't be standing here maybe. So here we are, Sean, right? And those beams are hot. Let me tell you, you're not lying. Hey, thanks for the push. I love you, dude. Appreciate it. 3 kids sticking out from coaching. I'm going to go through them real quick. 3 kids, Zach Burton, Derek Hammock, and Parker Fletcher. Zach, one of the most gifted human beings I've ever seen in my life. He had no 10%. He had no 90%. It was always 100. And he did it at a great level. Derek's here, Derek Hammock. I've never witnessed a kid in 4 years get better. I've been around Major League Baseball, been around Doug Roper. I've never seen somebody get better 4 years in a row as an athlete, as a baseball player, and as a person. Talk to him probably once a week now. He's on up there with Kirby Smart almost every other day, so he'll call me every night. Hey, I'm going into a meeting with, So love you, Derek. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Parker, he's coaching the middle school baseball team. The reason I'm mentioning it is Parker did it his way, and that meant a lot to me and made an impact on me. Teammates and friends, Lance Helms and Josh Beck, two of the most consistent human beings on the planet. True friendship. My super fans, Jeff Shivers, Deanna Floyd, and Danny Foshi. I'll never forget you for the rest of my life. Matthew McConaughey had a speech, and he said, I need 3 things daily: someone to look up to, someone to look forward to, and someone to chase. I look up to Mama. I look up to Mama and Papa, Grandma and Bob, Uncle Robert. I look forward to Jamie, Champ, Cannon, and Charlie every day. And I'm chasing myself daily. Daily, I'm chasing myself. What an honor. I want to thank Vidalia and the Vidalia school system for an incredible honor. I'll never be able to fully repay you for the opportunities you give me in life, but I'll continue to show up and do my part to honor this community with what it's given me. I share these memories with you today, not because they belong to me, but because they belong to all of us. This journey, this community, this family, it's all a reflection of what we can accomplish when we support one another. I am who I am because of the love, guidance, and wisdom that's been poured into me by every single one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and my family's heart. Go Dogs and go Indians.
Ben Utt will now come forward to be able to talk about how you can help the Vidalia Athletic Hall of Fame.
Bill Sharpton, good job. Good job. Way to bring the motion, man. Seriously, because it matters, right? You can't play sports without emotion. You can't get good without emotion. We want to celebrate that too. Sport is good. It's good to celebrate, and it matters. Brings us together as teammates, as family, and as community. Look at this. Everybody here. And by the way, there are a lot of Sassers here in the audience too. So, but look, this is the 3rd year we've been doing this too, and John Sharp and his team have done a fantastic job of making this thing a lot of fun and just making it a great party. If you want to keep this party going, though, you got to pay the band, right? And to those, we want to thank all the sponsors. And to those of you that have already made contributions, thank you for doing that. But we can keep using more, right? Last year I made a contribution. Before coming down here, I told my beautiful wife, I'm going to make another contribution to the Vidalia Sports Hall of Fame. And she said, well, you know, you're pretty extended right now with a number of contributions, so you can give $1,000 if you get someone to match it. So I called Patrick Parker on the phone on the way down here, and he said, yes, I'll do that. So, John, here's another $2,000 for you, okay? Keep this party going. Use the QR code, Boomers. Grandparents, get your grandkids to show you what that is, all right? Pull it up, you can give money right there, or you can give it in paper like this. It's just the same thing too, all right? But let's keep this party going and have a good time, all right? Congratulations to all the inductees. Welcome to the hall.
Thank you, Ben. I would ask that you keep your seat for just one more moment, please, as we have another inductee tonight that we need to take care of. As I fumbled on my notes like I did through a couple of those speeches. Mr. Arnold, I'm going to ask you to raise the house lights, if you will, please. Because tonight we're going to honor one final inductee who has no idea that they're about to induct it into the Vidalia Hall of Fame. This individual epitomizes what it means to be a Vidalia Indian. He played here, he taught here, he coached here, and he was the principal here for 9 years. Tonight, we honor another legacy inductee into the Hall of Fame, and that is John Sharp. John Sharp grew up a Vidalia Indian. From a young age, John was Mr. Vidalia, from participating in the Vidalia Recreation Department to becoming a worker there. From being a student athlete to becoming a coach and then administrator here at Vidalia High School, John Sharp has continually not only excelled in what it means to be a Vidalia Indian, but has also sacrificed his time and his energy, and sometimes injuries, as he fell out of the bleachers one time, sometimes at the cost of his family, to be able to carry the torch for Vidalia High School. Although Mr. Sharp's athletic accomplishments as a student athlete were numerous, including being named to be the best athlete as voted by his senior class, and then receiving a chance to play football at Georgia Tech and then later on at Georgia Southern for the legendary Irk Russell, it was the time that he has spent here as principal at Vidalia High School that sets him apart from most. During his tenure here at Vidalia High School, John Sharp raised the bar not only in academics but also in athletics and the arts. Under his leadership, teams won 57 region championships, 9 state championships, and in addition, during that time, Vidalia High School won 1 Director's Cup and finished in the top 5 4 more times. When it comes to the knowledge and the history of Vidalia High School and Vidalia athletics, John Sharp stands alone in that category. He is a walking encyclopedia. The knowledge that exudes from Mr. Sharp is unmatched at any level. This man knows more about the history of Vidalia High School and its activities that I rechecked the numbers that I presented to you 5 different times. And even with that, I'm 99.9% sure that when he gets up to this microphone, he's going to correct those numbers. Mr. Sharp's wisdom and guidance were also paramount in the improvement and the construction of facilities while principal here at Vidalia High School. From enhancements to Buck Cravey Field, resurfacing the track and tennis courts, to improvements to the baseball and softball fields, to having an intricate part of the construction of the magnificent building that we now sit in, Mr. John Sharp did it all. He met countless times with architects, contractors, stakeholders, and inspectors to make sure that this building is a showpiece that it is today and becoming an example for other systems across the state to use. Beyond all that, and beyond all that that I've said in this introduction, John Sharp is a family man who loves his wife, who loves his children and his grandchildren. He not only loves his family, but he also loves his friends, and he is one of the most loyal friends that you'll ever have. John Sharp also loves this community, and is very involved in numerous clubs and associations, and even has served as president of the Kiwanis Club and is now on the board of directors for his 2nd term. Beyond his love for his family, his friends, and his community, and his passion for Vidalia High School, John Sharp, first and foremost, loves his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. As consummate a professional that John Sharp is, and great a friend as John Sharp is, as great a leader as John Sharp is, and an outstanding individual that John Sharp is, none of that would have been possible without his relationship with God. And John recognizes that, and he has led countless individuals to a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Today we induct John Sharp into the Vidalia Hall of Fame, and as great as that is, nothing will surpass the day that he gave his life to Christ. For those things that we are doing here today but are a flash in the pan, but the relationship that he has with God, it's eternal. I'm honored to stand here today and to be able to induct my friend and my brother, John Sharp, into the Vidalia High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'm sitting here thinking, as a man who likes to control things and wants to be on top, how in the world did they pull that off? I think the reason they did so is because they knew I'm long-winded and I wouldn't have time to prepare a speech. I do want to make a clear distinction that this is a legacy award and not athletic award. Even though I felt I was a good athlete, I don't stand nowhere close to the folks that we've been honoring. It's kind of sad, I guess, when you can say outside of my high school career, probably my most two memorable accomplishments were at Georgia Southern, not good memorable necessarily, but at Georgia Southern, I was tight end, and Tracy Ham, you may remember, who played in the led Georgia Southern to 2 national championships and was in the College Football Hall of Fame. On his first touchdown run of over 60 yards, it got called back because I had a legal downfield block. That was not fun in the film room the next Monday. The other accomplishment was when I led a Tommy Daly coach basketball team when he was in Bruton Parker. I led a team and scored 50 points. I led the Kiwanis Club in a win against the women's basketball team. Another one that doesn't say Hall of Fame. But I do love Vidalia, and I am grateful. And I guess if I'm going into a class, this is a wonderful class to go in with. 2 of my high school teammates, the Hodge brothers, who helped us stand out as far as character, and we accomplished a lot. Miss Mixon, who actually threw a piece of chalk across the room and hit me in the head while I was in school. 2 kids who were young men who were inducted in this class. Oh, it's going to be hard. Were like sons to me, and Joe Hall and Bill Sharpton. And I do want to take the rest of the time just to thank some people. I've got to say, to my wife, Caroline, thank you for saying yes almost 38 years ago and being both my most harshest critic and my biggest fan. I'm grateful for the life that we forged together and look forward to many wonderful times. And when I've got you, I got an extended family. I got a mother and father-in-law who loved me like a son, and sister and brother-in-law who counted me as their best friend, so I'm grateful for them. To my children, who are my life, John, Courtney, Jackson, Jared, and Everett, and Emery, I love you, and I thank you for loving me so well back, and for also helping show me the value of relationships and seeing the very best in people. To my mom and dad and sisters, thank you for teaching me that the pillars of being successful are faith, family, and hard work. And I value the time that we had and continue to have. I think of the wonderful coaches, and I'm afraid I might leave somebody out here, but it started with Coach Smith, Coach Adams, Coach Gregg, and Bill James, Coach Cravey, Coach Goodman, Helms, Coach Jones, Coach Sasser, Coach Parsons, and Coach Fuller. They all helped me learn valuable lessons. And to the 2 college coaches I had, Coach Bill Curry and Coach Eric Russell, taught me so many lessons about leadership that I have used in my role as principal. To Tom Hutchison, I thank you for calling me in my office and offering me a job. To Larry Cowart, thank you for seeing potential and leadership in me and asking me to pursue leadership, and for serving along with Bob Jones and Dennis Watkins as mentors to me. I'm grateful for your work in my life. Also thankful to all the teachers and coaches that I have had the privilege of serving with. Even in leadership, you
put up with some of my crazy ideas, and when we would do book clubs on Love Does and the Energy Bus, you were always willing and bought into the philosophy that the most important things that we can do, or thing we can do, is build healthy relationships with kids. I also want to thank Dr. Garrett Wilcox for taking a chance on me and giving me the one job that I wanted my whole life, and that was to be principal at Vidalia High School. I'm honored to lead such a great team, the teachers at work, our committee. Thank you for your hard work. I think that we're reaping the fruits of our reward, or of our labor. I do want to thank, most importantly, and I'm sure I've left somebody out, but I want to thank most importantly my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who guided me throughout my life. And I want to end with one story. Caroline and I had been married a few years. We had a 2-year-old son, twins on the way, and you can imagine we're struggling. I didn't know what I wanted to do, thought I was calling the ministry, and we felt after Mr. Hutchison had called me and said, hey, maybe we'll try this education thing. And after a month of being a first-year teacher, you can imagine how tough it was. Not only did we have twins on the way, I was having to work a job at the recreation department to make ends meet, and I was trying to finish my certification, so I was pretty stressed out. And I went to Men's Christian Leadership at Balsam Grove, North Carolina, called Living Waters. And while we were there, there was a lady that founded there, called and told us if we wanted to, that she wanted us to pray for, we would pray for us if we would come to her chalet that overlooked a mountain waterfall, and she would pray for us. And I went, probably more out of wanting to see the beautiful mountain waterfall. But we got on a prayer bench, and I asked her before she prayed for me, I said, can I write it down? She said, no, what the Lord wants you to remember, He will bring to your mind. And she prayed for me. And I can still remember these words over almost 35 years later. She said, when I saw you step off your church bus, God spoke to me and said, my hand is on that young man. And he doesn't know it, but the job he is in now is right where he's supposed to be. And not only that, he will have a significant impact on young people's life. And at some time, he will return to that same place to be in a position in leadership. She didn't even know my name. But God spoke a word of encouragement to her that motivated me to continue the service. I am humbled, grateful, and thank you again for this incredible honor.
Wow. For 3 years, I have been following in John Sharp's footsteps and shadows, and just when I thought it couldn't get any harder. I'm not gonna try to top that because it can't be done. It's been a long night, but I want to say on behalf of the committee to all of our inductees tonight, congratulations. Your talent brought us to ball games. Your performances caused us to rise from our seats and cheer on all of your accomplishments, and those accomplishments brought you to the hall today. But I'll make no mistake, it's the grace and the humility and the character that was on display on the stage tonight is what is going to inspire us going forward. And that, you combine those two things, and that's why your legacy will be forever etched into the history of this school and this community. Congratulations to each of you. We're going to end this the way we end all of our assemblies at school. Say it loud, say it proud. Go Indians.